Raybay58 says, what do you think about the one part in MW2, which I don't think is more Afterworld 2, I think it's probably Modern Warfare 2, where you have to kill all the civilians in the airport. Do you think it was somewhat racist or insensitive, or do you think it was just nothing and it's just a game? I think that they're trying to make people feel something in games, and we've tried to desensitize ourselves so much on games that they have to go to that extreme to make us feel something, and that's how they're trying to sell the game. And I think that that'll only desensitize us that much more. Now, desensitization on games, is that necessarily a bad thing? No, to a point. I think if you start seeing things like the BME Pain Olympics, or just killing out, having the actual purpose to kill civilians for no apparent reason, although there is a Carmageddon game and stuff like that, and that's just kind of the same thing, but it's kind of, they just do it different. I don't know. They don't seem real, and they really try to make the civilians in Modern Warfare 2 real when you're killing them. And so they just keep on going to the next level. Next, they're going to do. I mean, if you've ever watched the movie Gamer, that was actually pretty interesting. How they really showed how they really try to make it break through the desensitized gamer. And I just wish that there was a limit. I want there to be a limit. I don't think violence should be too overly done. I think violence to a certain point is fine. Especially if it's like little dinky-looking creatures, and you jump on their heads and they blow up into little bits of guts or something like that. I mean, that's just kind of cool and funny. But giving them a soul, giving them a personality, and having that personality ripped away from you by your own hands, or maybe not, by something else, it just becomes a bit extreme. So, okay. Wolfcore1 says, do you think there'll ever be a time where instead of using a mouse or keyboard to play games, you would be able to plug in and play the game with your brain? If so, would you try it? Now, the thing is, we're never going to have a situation where we plug in, as much as the Matrix would like you to believe that. There is a way that we're going to do it. Well, okay, so let me just say, don't take my word on any of this. This is kind of a strange source that I'm going by on this. But basically, you know, I mean, if you've ever heard about bionic limbs, which we have created, we've had for like 30 years or something like that. Not like any of the sci-fi stuff you know of, but a metal hand that you can control with the same, not synapses, the same electrical impulses that you send from your brain. They have people that have these hands and then can control the motion of their hand with their signals from their brain. And it doesn't have to be to that extreme, but let's just say you put your hand in a holographic sensor. So it's a three-dimensional sensor, and you don't actually have your hands on anything. But it can determine the position of your fingers and the flinches and the details of your hands. It can derive meaning. It's going to take a lot of algorithms to do this, but it can derive meaning from your motions. And it can do it in a naturally intuitive way where someone that doesn't even understand how to use a mouse and keyboard can put their hands in this and just sort of will things to occur, and just by the regular human-built collective unconscious of what that willing causes in the twitchings of our hands and the motions of our hands, can determine exactly what your character does, if it's a game that you control a character. So, in a way, it is a direct connection with your brain. It's no longer truly your hands making the motions, it's your mental will causing it, and it requires no plug-in. So that's how that's going to work. It's just as effective as plugging directly into the brain, and doesn't require plugging into the brain. So once again, don't take my word on that. I have weird sources for that, which I will not divulge. Wolfcore1 asks, if I upload a video of me gaming and used a song from the Flash game Punk O Matic for the background audio, would my video get taken down, even if I created the song? I generally think the songs are only taken down sometimes when it's like a major recording artist, or a recording artist that has their record label protect them against that sort of thing. But a lot of times you can even put up a song now. I mean, a video with a song on it nowadays, and it's fine, except it puts a little ad at the bottom of your thing that pops up and says, "Would you like to buy this song? Go to iTunes," and blah 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 blah, which is fine. Most people don't mind that at all. However, so that's kind of a new thing. There's no however. I don't know why I said however. So it's a lot less likely now for your video to get taken down by sound. Sometimes you'll get muted and stuff like that. If you create a song, I mean, obviously, even if it does get taken down, you should be able to dispute it, and you should get it back. I don't know how good YouTube is at doing that, but there you go. 194 Worm says, of what game do you want a continuation? Portal is one thing that would want more of. I would like to see more of... I think I've answered this question before, but whatever. I'd like to see more of Fallout 2. I'd like to see more of that style of gameplay, maybe a little bit better, because there's some annoying parts and some flaws in the game. Continuation... anything with like really fun accuracy. Freelancer. I'd love to see more story continuation on Freelancer. Darkstar 1 wasn't so good on that, but Freelancer was just an incredible game. I'd love to see a Privateer 3. Maybe that's what they would call it, and bring in parts of Privateer 3 into it. Just get rid of the bugs. Come on, Privateer 1 and 2 were such great games, but they were so buggy. The only reason I didn't beat Privateer 2 is because there's a certain point where there's so many bugs, it just crashes every time you load the game. It's just like, oh, it's so good, but it's so bad. I'm not sure. There's a number of great other ones. Mirror's Edge would be great too. Did I already say that? I might have already said that. I'd love to see continuation of Icewind Dale. I'd love to see Icewind Dale 3, which is Baldur's Gate style thing. Don't really like the where Neverwinter Nights went, even with the first one. I would have said that I wanted to see a continuation of the Exile series, but they'd got one. I mean, it was a reworking of the Exile series, but it was a really good one, and I haven't played it all. I've played a lot of it, which is Avernum, but I don't think I'd want a continuation of Morris World. I don't think I'd want a continuation of Castle of the Winds. Oh, a continuation of Heretic. You could even use the same engine. You know, I bet you there's user-created content in episodic form that might give me that little bit of extra Heretic that I've always wanted. I don't know.